What's up guys, Chris here and welcome back to another weapon review. This time we're looking at Not Like the Others, a scout rifle that you can buy from the Vanguard Quartermaster for 150 legendary marks. This is mainly a PvE weapon, but it does perform quite nicely for PvP all things considered. Do I think it's a top tier PvP weapon? No. Is it a gun that you can bring into the Crucible and still do decently well with? Yes. So first of all, let's have a look at the stats. Immediately, you'll notice that this scout rifle is similar to Vision of Confluence, Fang of Yayud, and the more recent Doom of Kelkis, as it shares the same rate of fire and impact balance as the previously mentioned weapons. This will be considered a positive by most people, as these types of scout rifles have generally speaking been the go-to primary weapons for PvE, with the previously mentioned Vision of Confluence being considered top 2, and even top 1 for many for the best PvE weapon in the game. In PvP, this type of scout rifle doesn't generally perform as well, as the 4 shots to kill with headshots is also matched by the faster firing scout rifles like the Meta Multi-Tool. That is not to say that they don't have their place in the Crucible with their mid to high impact. They do 61 damage to the head and 41 to the body, meaning that you can put down an opposing Guardian with just 2 headshots and 2 body shots, making these weapons ideal for mid to long range combat and even counter sniping. Unless the enemy has an active super, an overshield, or is at an extreme distance, it will never take more than 5 shots to kill with this weapon. The range stat is a bit of a non-factor in this weapon. It is in the middle of the pack for scout rifles, and you'll rarely ever be fighting at distances where you will notice the damage drop off. Stability is admittedly a stat where Not Like the Others is lacking. With a stability stat of just 46, it does leave quite a lot to be desired. While this rarely matters in PvE, better stability would definitely help in the Crucible, and the lack of a stability upgrade doesn't help either. The reload speed is acceptable, and the magazine size is in the middle of the pack for scout rifles at 17. So with average stats for a scout rifle, what does Not Like the Others have going for it? On the vendor variant, you will find an absolutely amazing perk roll. First of all, you'll have the choice between 3 sights: MD Reflex, Reflex, and OEG. Which one you choose is down to personal preference. None of them influence the base stats of the weapon, though things like aim down sight time and aim assist are slightly altered depending on your choice. I found myself going with MD Reflex mostly. The first perk you get is Crowd Control, which will increase the damage by 15% for 3 seconds after a kill. With Crowd Control activated, you'll be doing 70 damage to the head and 45 to the body. This means that you can pull off a 3-shot kill if you land 3 headshots. This perk is nice to have but very situational in PvP, but in PvE it really shines, allowing for great ad control, making this weapon fantastic for taking out mobs of low tier enemies. The other main perk is also a damage related perk, Reactive Reload, which will boost the damage by a massive 33% when reloading after a kill. This perk not only plays into the gun's strength in terms of ad control, but it also makes this gun worth using in PvP. Whenever Reactive Reload is active, you'll be doing 81 damage with headshots and 54 with body shots, taking your shots to kill down to just 3, granted you hit at least 2 headshots, and a maximum of 4 shots to kill as opposed to 5 without Reactive Reload. This allows the weapon to be quite useful in PvP. If you make sure you reload after every kill, it's a force to be reckoned with in mid-range combat, and on maps like Widow's Court and Pantheon, this could be a top tier weapon. However, it is a scout rifle. It still handles very awkwardly in close quarters, and on most maps you will find yourself fighting much closer to your enemies than ideal. This is especially problematic in 6v6 and Rumble, though if you do play smartly you will be able to overcome this. Back to Reactive Reload, as I briefly mentioned, this perk obviously plays into the strength of this weapon in PvE when it comes to crowd control. Additionally, crowd control and Reactive Reload can also stack. You'll rarely ever see this in PvP, but when these perks do stack, you'll be doing 93 damage on headshots and 62 on body shots, basically guaranteeing a 3-shot kill. It might even be possible to get an occasional 2-shot kill against a hunter or warlock with minimum armor, but I wouldn't count on it. I'm not entirely sure, I haven't actually been in a situation where this has happened. Lastly, in the customizable column, you get the choice between explosive rounds, Feather Mag, which will reduce the magazine size and improve your reload speed, and Malleus Maleficarum, which will allow you to deal bonus damage against wizards. Explosive rounds is my go-to for PvE, where AoE damage allows for even better crowd control, but in PvP my choice is Feather Mag as it plays well with Reactive Reload. The faster reload speed is more valuable than the 4 additional bullets you would have without Feather Mag. So to sum it up, this weapon is near perfect for PvE. As a matter of fact, I couldn't really think of a better role than what is available from the vendor for this particular weapon. While an increased disability would be nice, it's not much of a problem in PvE, and the faster reload speed that you get with Feather Mag plays very well along with Reactive Reload in PvP. This is currently my go-to PvE weapon, and I imagine it will be for quite some time due to the perfect perk roll, and in PvP it is a fun gun to bring in and challenge yourself. You'll definitely struggle if you bring this weapon into 6v6, where I find myself not being able to finish off people fast enough as the high amount of chaos makes it quite easy to break line of sight, and the time to kill on this weapon is not great. It's basically an assist machine for 6v6. It performs significantly better in Rumble and 3v3, where it's easier to read and dictate the game, and if you can manage to string together a lot of kills with Reactive Reload and crowd control, this weapon becomes quite a killing machine. You'll still have to play smartly. It is a scout rifle and it handles awkwardly in close quarters, and if you have an aggressive and jumpy playstyle like I do, this weapon probably isn't for you. But if you want to challenge yourself, this weapon is a lot of fun, and if you use guns like this a lot, you will most likely find yourself improving as a player in many ways. But that is going to round it off for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy and found it useful. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.